Here we have the June Tackle Club saltwater estuary box. Let's have a look. Going to start off with the two soft plastic options in the box today. So we've got one here from Shad's Lures, which are a little paddle tail, and I absolutely love these. I've often used even this size for like barramundi and jacks. And the other one from Brawler Baits, like a thinner minnow style profile paddle tail. So I've got two different paddle tail options here. One with a big paddle tail and bigger body, one slimmer one with a smaller paddle tail. So often like the bigger paddle tail one, I like to let that tail do most of the action. Now with these, because I've fished with these a fair bit, I actually like to rig these on a heavier jig head. So anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 ounce, and then do a faster sort of retrieve, which is going to be perfect for like your jacks and your barra and even your flathead if you want to let it sink down and hop it along the bottom. Something like the Brawler Baits, I'm going to put a smaller jig head on. Anywhere from like 1/8 upwards is going to be absolutely fine, because I really like the slow sink with these. And when I'm fishing them nice and light, I like to cast them up current, let the current do the swimming for me. Obviously, if there is no current, start looking for some of the structure, start flicking this into the pontoons, some of the rock walls that you've got, and you're sure to pick up some nice brim. To go with those soft plastics, we've included some jig heads here from Baramba Lures. These are the flatty jig heads. So I've got the 4.0 hook in a 1/4 ounce. So that's obviously going to be perfect for both plastics there, but if you do have other jig heads sitting around home, feel free to chop and change. Next up from Pontoon 21, we have the Crackjack 38 suspending shallow runner. So this is a shallow running hard body. It's only going to run about 1/2 metre to 0.8 of a metre. So it's going to be perfect for casting along the front face of your pontoons or down the sides, and just going into a slow to medium retrieve, maybe add in a couple of twitches or pauses. This thing's just going to dive down deep enough to go underneath that pontoon, especially in the middle of the day when you might get some of those brim and stuff coming up and sitting just underneath the pontoon. It's going to be perfect for that. Obviously, if you're fishing the flats, that's another great idea for something like this, where you're only fishing like a couple of feet of water, and you can make long casts out over these sand flats and start picking up some whiting or brim that way, as well as the fish come up to feed on some of the crustaceans that are normally bedding in these sand flats. Next up from Damiki, we have the Damiki Volt. So this is a little vibration style lure, or a blade as a lot of people know them as. Just pre-fitted with a single double hook on the back, no underbelly hook. So the reason for this is you're probably going to find that you'll snag up a lot less, because with the blade, as you cast and retrieving, the nose of it drops down and vibrates along like this, keeping the hook high up on the tail end away from the structure. So something like this, you can feel free to let sink down the sides of the pontoons, down these rock walls, down into the mangroves, and you're likely not to snag up. Doesn't mean you won't. You still can snag any lure that has a hook, so don't hold me to that. But something like this, the idea of that is that you're going to remain more snag resistant to get it into the tighter structure that you may be chasing your fish in. And then last but not least, we've included a nice little tub here of Sax scent. I've got the bloodworm scent here, which is going to be perfect for all of them. I can rub a bit of this onto my soft plastics, onto my jig head, onto my hard body, onto the blade. It's not going to matter. Any of the other lures, just add some on, a little bit of scent there just to attract the fish. If they're a bit shut down, it's going to be absolutely perfect. And that's it for the saltwater estuary box this month. If you want to check it out or any of the others in the range, just head to www.tackleclub.com.au, pick a box that's right for you, and welcome to the club.